I know this isn't the correct pronunciation, but I'm just going to call him Mateusz Rebecki. I know that's not right. John Anik would have a meltdown, but oh well. I don't talk to him, so. I was taking a look at him, and I think this bout is canceled. It's on here, but on the UFC website, they took it off. It's not there. And also here on Tapology, it says it's a canceled bout, and then he's going to be fighting on 5/11, which is what, May 11th. But I was already looking at some of his stuff, and when you go back and watch his fights, I do remember some of them. He's got like 3 of them or something in the UFC. What's he got? 3 in the UFC, 1 in the Contender, and then the rest are like smaller promotions. I'm guessing in Poland. He's a Polish fighter. Man, he's really short, 5'6". You know, like, look at this guy that he was apparently supposed to fight, 6'2". Look at his reach, 66. That dude's 77. So I'm assuming the average is probably around 6 foot, 5'11", something like that, because it's lightweight. But, man, you know, their reach is, he's a short guy with kind of short arms for the division, best I can tell without trying to really look into it. It's like, wow. And the dude is huge for 155. If you've seen him before, he reminds me of, you remember Ivan Putski, the Polish power in WWF wrestling? That's what he reminds me of. He's like a fire hydrant, man. Short, muscular guy, really strong. You go and you watch his fights, man. It's some good stuff. There's also a discrepancy here. Here it says 18-1, but if you look in his record in Tapology, it's 19-1. I counted it out. There's 19 victories on there. He's got 9 TKOs, 7 submissions, and 3 decisions. And see, that doesn't bother me. The 3 submissions, when you got that many KOs and that many, the 3 decisions with 7 submissions and 9 TKOs, KOs, that doesn't bother me. That's, you know, and they all seem like they got like decent records. If you take a look down there, he was 3-1. This guy was 5-2. He was 4-1. This guy in 11-9. You know, that might not be a real good record, but that's a decent amount of experience. That's 20 fights. You know, so that's what I tend to look at. Do they look like they have a decent amount of experience or a good amount of wins? You never know. Maybe they're fighting all bumps. You don't, without going and looking up everybody's record, but that's usually a good sign. You know, a lot of those Eastern European guys are pretty good in general. If you watch ACA or M1 Global or Guerrilla Fights or anything over the years, you see that the level of competition is pretty high. When you're watching the fights, you're like, wow, these guys are both pretty good. Even though they might be like, you know, 4-1 or something like that, they're pretty decent. They're not schlubs in general. If you watch some of that stuff, you'll see what I mean. You know, they all got good wrestling in general. They're all decent strikers. They're not like horrible like you might think. A lot of people make that assumption, but a lot of those Eastern European guys are really good. So I don't know. Best I can tell, his record's 19-1 because there's actually 19 wins on here. So I'm not entirely sure, but I like his nickname, Rebeasti. He's on a 16-fight win streak against what would seem to be pretty decent opponents. So I don't know. I guess he's not fighting this fight coming up, the Joel Alvarez, not this weekend, but next weekend. I assume this is true. He's fighting a couple weeks after that. So I'm definitely going to be watching him. The fights I've seen 3 or 4 of them. Pretty good stuff. So definitely worth checking them out.